8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundithavam. The President calls for a special all-party conference tomorrow. Satosa slashes the prices of 6 essential food items. A new excise bill to prevent illegal drugs in Parliament soon. No power cuts during the A-level exam period. 10 coal ships out of 33 have so far arrived in the island since last December. The Italian government extended support to Sri Lanka to tackle and control human trafficking. The Chinese government provided another stock of medical equipment to Sri Lanka. In news overseas, Amazon strikes, workers claim their toilet breaks are timed. And in sports, Australian Open 2023 results, Magda Linette to face Ariana Sabalenka in semi-finals. An all-party conference is scheduled to be held tomorrow, the 26th of January, at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, the President's Media Division PMD reported. Accordingly, the leaders of political parties representing Parliament have been called for the all-party meeting, which should be held tomorrow at 4 p.m, in order to reach a consensus and improve national harmony, the PMG said. Lanka Satosa has slashed the prices of 6 essential food items, including dried chilies and lentils. Accordingly, the revised prices will be effective from tomorrow at all Lanka Satosa stores across the island. Listed below are the revised prices: dried chilies 1,700 rupees per kilogram, white raw rice local 169 rupees per kilogram, red kakulu rice 179 rupees per kilogram, white nadu rice 184 rupees per kilogram, kiri sambar rice 235 rupees per kilogram, and red dal 365 rupees per kilogram. The State Minister of Finance, Ranjit Siambalapiti, has assured that a new draft bill related to the prevention of the influx of new illegal narcotics into society and the circulation of drug money within the country will be introduced soon. Accordingly, a draft of the bill is to be presented in Parliament soon, Siambalapiti stated, while speaking at a special discussion held this afternoon at the Ministry of Finance. He assured that measures related to the drafting of the bill are currently underway and are in the final stages. The State Minister explained that a new bill pertaining to this issue is in fact required, as the existing excise ordinance, which was introduced in 1912, remains severely outdated with over 1,200 amendments and notices. The Commissioner General of the Excise Department, Saman Jayasinghe, and other officials are present at the special discussion held with regard to the new draft bill. All parties, including the Ministry of Power and Energy, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, PUCSL, the Ceylon Electricity Board, CEB, and the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation have agreed before the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka to refrain from imposing power cuts during the 2022 GCE Advanced Level Examination. The HRCSL yesterday summoned the PUCSL Chairman Janaka Ratnayaka and the Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy for an inquiry as to why they failed to prevent the implementation of power cuts during the ongoing examination. The CEB Assistant General Manager Ronald Comester, the Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy, Sugat Dharmakirti, and the PUCSL Chairman had appeared before the Commission. Accordingly, it was agreed upon at the inquiry held at the HRCSL premises that no power cuts will be imposed from today until the 17th of February, the HRCSL said in a release. The PUCSL, together with the HRCSL, proposed to the CPC that the required fuel be provided to the CEB in order to provide an uninterrupted supply of electricity during the period in which the exam is being held. Thus, the PUCSL advised the CEB to prioritize the securing of funds needed for this purpose when the proposed electricity tariff revision is implemented in the near future. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Constitutional Council met for the first time today and has decided to call for applications for those interested and qualified to be appointed as the members of the independent commissions. Accordingly, a newspaper advertisement will be published in this regard after which 2 weeks will be given from the date of advertisement to furnish all related applications, the Communication Department of the Sri Lanka Parliament confirmed, adding that more details about the application process will be notified through the newspaper advertisement. The advertisement is to be published calling for new members to the Election Commission, the Elimination Commission and the National Police Commission, Audit Service Commission, Human Rights Commission, National Procurement Commission, Finance Commission and Bribery Commission, and after the Constitutional Council gives the go-ahead to the recommendations made by the President for the positions of chairpersons and members of several independent commissions. While the meeting also focused on the future activities of the Council, along with the mandate of the Constitutional Council stipulated in the Constitution and the other laws, the Constitutional Council unanimously agreed to discharge duties and functions of the Council in an independent, accountable and transparent manner. The Italian government extends its support to Sri Lanka to tackle and control the human trafficking. Accordingly, Italy has come forward to provide special helicopters for this purpose. The Italian ambassador, Mrs. Rita G. Manella, gave this assurance at a meeting with President Ranil Wickremesinghe held at the Presidential Secretariat this afternoon. The meeting also focused on ways and means on improving the bilateral ties between the two nations. The Chinese government provided another stock of medical equipment to Sri Lanka. This includes around 1.5 million syringes. China has donated many stocks of medical equipment worth 6 billion rupees since July last year. The Chinese embassy in Sri Lanka stated that the stocks of medical equipment have already been shipped from the Dalian harbour in China to the Colombo port. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said 10 coal ships have out of the 33 so far arrived in the island since last December. These stocks are sufficient enough to operate the Norachole coal power plant, the minister added. 2 more coal ships are expected to arrive in the island before the end of this month. Further, another 7 coal ships are expected in the month of February and in March as well. However, there was a slight delay of unloading the coal stock due to delay in the payments, the minister said. Those problems are sorted out, as they state, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Sri Lanka Navy seized over 60 kilograms of Kerala cannabis on the beaches of Analathivu Island in Jaffna. The consignment, which had been washed ashore, was seized by the SLNS Elara in the Northern Naval Command in a joint operation with the Kites Police and has a street value of over 20 million rupees. The stock of cannabis was packed in 25 packages and was found on the shores of the Analathivu Island in 2 sacks, the Sri Lanka Navy reported, adding that the consignment is believed to have been left behind by smugglers. Accordingly, the narcotics have been handed over to the Kites Police for further legal action and came to you in the main news in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Making headlines tonight, Peru's President Boluarte calls for truce as protests flare in Lima. Amazon strikes, workers claim their toilet breaks are timed. And Microsoft working to end Outlook and Teams outage around the world. Peru's President Dina Boluarte has called for national truce after violent protests erupted in the country's capital city of Lima. Protests throughout Peru are ongoing and dozens of people have died. The demonstration started in the country in December when the left-wing former President Pedro Castillo was impeached. Mr. Castillo's supporters are calling for his release from jail, where he is facing charges of rebellion and conspiracy. Amazon workers are staging the first ever UK strike on Wednesday against the online giant in a protest over pay. Around 300 staff walked out at Amazon's Coventry warehouse, the GMB union said, over what they called a derisory 5% pay rise to £10.5 an hour. Workers told the BBC about severe conditions, claiming they are constantly monitored and upbraided for the idle time lasting just a few minutes. And Microsoft says it has reversed a network change that it thinks may be linked to tens of thousands of users worldwide being unable to access its services, including Teams and Outlook. Down Detector, which tracks website outages, showed more than 5,000 people in the UK reporting Outlook emails not working on Wednesday morning. Other services, including Teams and Xbox Live, were also reported as not working. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
The Export-Import Bank of China has offered Sri Lanka a 2-year moratorium on its debt and said it will support the country's efforts to secure a $2.9 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund, according to a letter reviewed by Reuters. India wrote to the IMF earlier this month saying it would submit to supporting Sri Lanka with financing and debt relief, but the island nation also needs the backing of China in order to reach a final agreement with the global lender. That came to you in development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
And in tennis, Magdalena will meet 5th seed Aryna Sabalenka in the Australian Open semi-finals after she beat Karolina Pliskova to continue her dream run. The Polish world number 45 had previously never gone beyond the third round of a Grand Slam in 29 attempts, but she produced a fearless display in a 6-3-7-5 win over the Czech 2-time major finalist Pliskova on Wrocław Arena. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekaktiana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapugina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation SLIC is set to spearhead yet another year of steady growth, building on the momentum of a resilient 2022 as the company illustrated its strength, recording a gross written premium GWP of 20.7 billion rupees in the life insurance sector and 20.5 billion rupees in the general insurance sector. In 2022, SLIC declared the highest ever life insurance bonus in the insurance industry, offering 9.8 billion rupees for the year 2021 to its life insurance policyholders. Despite the challenging economic and social backdrop, the company's asset base increased to 276 billion rupees and the life fund to 158 billion rupees at the end of the third quarter of the year 2022, the largest in the country. That's business news, economic news to follow.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekaktiana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapugina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Colombo Dockyard PLC, a Board of Investment BOI registered establishment, launches a second vessel of a series of 6 numbers, 5,000 DWT Eco Bulk carriers being built for Mr. Eco Bulk AS Norway. Mr. Eco Bulk AS Norway, Mr. is the first European client of CDPLC, and this project too illustrates CDPLC's reputation in the European market, with the brand built in Sri Lanka, blending Sri Lankan technology with Japanese quality, receiving high recognition and acceptance in the Europe market. And that's economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that several spells of light showers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota and Polonnaruwa districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western and Sabragama provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts during the afternoon or night. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The President calls for special all-party conference tomorrow. Satosa slashes the prices of 6 essential food items. A new excise bill to prevent illegal drugs in Parliament soon. No power cuts during the A-level exam period. 10 coal ships out of 33 have so far arrived in the island since last December. The Italian government extends its support to Sri Lanka to tackle and control the human trafficking. The Chinese government provided another stock of medical equipment to Sri Lanka. Amazon strikes, workers claim their toilet breaks are timed. And Australian Open 2023 results, Magdalena to face Arina Sabalenka in semi-finals. With that, we conclude tonight's news broadcast.